topic of this is state of ad networks. And today we have representatives from both what I think some people would refer to as affiliate networks and others would call CPA networks. And we're going to look into what differentiates them and also how they're similar. But we're really here to talk about some of the emerging opportunities in performance marketing. And finally, what these networks are doing to further our industry. I think if people put blinders on and kind of think about what's an affiliate network and what's a CPA network, a lot of people think of affiliate networks as kind of where the performance marketing industry started, more of the paper sale type of offers, percent of sale. And CPA networks kind of launched later after the affiliate networks started, and people saw them more as straight lead gen, flat dollar amounts. But I think as you'll find when we talk today, that some of that has changed a lot, and it's not always a black and white picture here. So I'm really excited today to have 4 executives from various networks. First here is CEO of ClickBank. And then I have Don Mathis, president of Epic Advertising, better known as Zoogle Ads. Then I have Michael Jenkins, CEO of Precision Play Media, also maybe better known as MarketLeverage. And then finally, Aleck Schleider, VP of Marketing for advertising.com, part representing Buy.app, the recent acquisition, UK-based affiliate network that's now going global, I guess. And I'm Todd Crawford, and I'll be moderator. So one of the things I guess I'd like to hear from each of you just briefly is a little overview of your network. And I'm sure that everyone's aware of what you're doing in the space. So maybe take just 30 seconds or whatever just to kind of give people an overview of why an advertiser or publisher would be using your platform and what sets it apart.
Okay, I'll go first. Thanks, Todd. ClickBank is a little bit unique, and at the end you'll wonder, now why was that guy there? We are, of course, a huge affiliate network, but we also handle the payment processing on the back end. And all the money clears into our account, and we make sure that everyone gets paid. Kind of important to affiliates, I'd say. Seems to always come to the top of the surveys that we do, that you get paid. So that's kind of what we do in a nutshell. That's our elevator speech. And we've been doing this for about 10 years. So we have quite a bit of experience, very mature and secure systems, and been trying to do some things to improve it. And this is kind of, we started coming out to Affiliate Summit now. This is the second one I've been to, and it's kind of nice to see our clients. We were stealth for a long time, but we're out of the closet now.
So Epic Advertising actually represents 2 companies. We're the parent of 2 companies. What was a CPA network and still is a CPA network with certain twists on it today, plus a search engine marketing company agency that we bought a couple of years ago, which has grown quite substantially within our universe. So we actually represent, so Epic is the parent company in effect of those 2 companies. And I guess I define ourselves as almost more of an ad network than anything else at this stage. When I think of affiliate marketing, I think of LinkShare, CJ, Buy.app, for example. And the CPA networks, as we used to be, and I think a lot of CPA networks are kind of these intermediary brokers that were putting deals together. That's what their primary task was. We do that, but we also use a lot of technology to be able to serve our own advertising. And by serving our own advertising and optimizing, I think that puts us a little bit more in the realm in the Zoogle universe of some of the more classical display networks. And we're starting to run into that in terms of competition on the advertising side. I feel like there's this convergence as we're all kind of going, evolving into being similar things in terms of serving advertisers.
Precision Play Media is the parent company of MarketLeverage. We also have an email marketing division and a lead generation division. MarketLeverage is our what traditionally would be called an affiliate network, but I agree very much with Don that we're beginning to transcend the traditional definitions of what an affiliate network is. MarketLeverage offers several hundred advertisements for our advertisers. Our advertisers only pay when they get what they're looking for, sort of a classic cost per action model that we're all here to discuss today. And The publishers we have a very rapidly growing publisher base. Our publishers are given the opportunity to choose between a lot of different ads. We try to engage our publishers where they are. We try to be a very Web 2.0 company. We're very much an emerging company. And much like Bob spoke about in the beginning, I started out as a publisher. I've been the recipient of not getting paid a number of times. And we vowed that our company would never do that to people, and that's another thing that we stand for, is we absolutely make sure that our publishers have a safe environment to work in, great advertising opportunities, and that they always get paid.
So advertising.com actually started really as a performance network back in 1999. And originally when it started, the idea behind it was how can we mitigate risk for both advertisers and publishers. So the technology behind the system that really drives the overall value for publishers and advertisers, which is called Advent technology, really provides the best opportunity for publishers to earn as much revenue as possible with their inventory, and then obviously for advertisers to take advantage of performance marketing. That has since grown, and we've grown it into lead generation opportunities. It was very much a very strong CPA and CPA network, CPA and CPC network, and now obviously we're offering our publishers CPM revenue for their inventory. But as we continue to grow, we realized the need to also have our true, pure affiliate network, which is why we acquired Buyout about 6 months ago, 7 months ago. And Buyout has allowed us to offer a larger, greater opportunity for all of our publishers, not just the publishers in the network, but as well as more of the long tail affiliates, and how we can merge the technologies together and continue to bring the CPA ad network display side with the affiliate side of the marketplace and evolve our technologies to allow publishers to take full advantage of the click-to-buy opportunities, as well as, in most cases, CPM revenue. And some of the new launches that we've come up with is our Pub Access, which allows affiliates to actually earn CPM dollars for being part of our display network. And they also can take advantage of our Buyout affiliate network, where they're representing cost per sale or percentage style type of advertising.
So when you look at the types of offers that you're running, is it percent of sale or percent of flat dollar amount? I assume, Bob, you guys are 100% pay per sale, right?
We're 100% pay per sale, and all of our merchants, they will load the product and then decide what kind of commission they're willing to pay, percent of that sale.
Are you looking at getting into the lead gen businesses? If your customers ask about that, or is that just not your sweet spot?
I don't think that's our sweet spot. Nobody gets really asked that much for it, so I don't see us going here. We've got plenty on our plate to do.
What about the two in the middle here? You guys are kind of focused on CPA. Is percent of sale part of your business, or are you looking at it?
So in our case, about half of our business is what we call cost per order. Now that might be percent sale, or it might be a flat value, but it's a merchandise transaction, which is paid on the consummation of the order. And about the other half is what would be more considered CPL and cost per lead. Although it's interesting, the cost per lead, we don't actually touch the customer data, so we don't think of ourselves as a lead gen company. We facilitate lead gen companies and sell to them on the back end. I think I see that blend probably staying about static like that for at least the next 18 months, as far as we can see. We've got pretty reasonable growth in both areas, so I think we'll probably stay about the same percentage.
MarketLeverage just recently introduced revenue share and cost per sale offers on our site. It's a very, 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 very new and small portion of what it is that we do. We're very committed to it. We're going to be building that. We don't know exactly where that's going to lead. But on the advertiser side, it's all about ROI. And if an advertiser comes to us and they say, we're willing to pay X per lead, but this is really where our bottom line is, we're going to be paying attention to those numbers all the time. So the revenue share or the percentage of sale thinking is very much in what we do in all of our transactions.
You want to add anything to that?
You know what, we're building our systems to be able to offer publishers a variety of tools. So depending on how many consumers they have come to their website, or what they're really looking to do, and how to work with platform A encompassing company of where advertising.com falls under and I am. So our goal was to understand how we can continue to move forward across not only display advertising, but also affiliate advertising, and how we can provide tools and technologies to allow publishers to have options, whether it be a click to sale, or revenue share, or even in some cases CPM revenue. We really are looking to expand that, and even starting to get more into the social networking, building widgets that allow publishers to be able to distribute widgets so they're earning revenue outside of their own properties, where, you know, for people's social pages or their home pages or their iGoogle pages, whatever it is, we're looking to expand publishers' opportunities to go beyond just their own website.
When we were talking prior to this panel, both of you guys were mentioning you saw paper sale as pure CPA. And it kind of struck me because I always thought of, you know, when I think of CPA, I always think that's just synonymous with leads. Can you go into a little more detail why you feel so strongly about that?
An action can mean a lot of things to a lot of different advertisers, and I think that is a very broad word. So it just really depends on how the advertiser views it. If the advertiser is a retailer and they say an action for me is a purchase, well then that is what we use. That's the terminology. If they say an action for me is a lead, then that's the terminology that we use. In the real world, though, with publishers, cost per sale or revenue share means I'm driving someone to purchase something. Cost per lead is I'm driving someone to take a registration action. So it's a broad word. I think a lot can fall under the A under action. So that's just how we use it.
I think the closer that you can get to the transaction, the closer you're getting to satisfying the advertiser. Ultimately, our view is that advertisers don't really want leads, they want the sales that are coming from those leads. So what we really look to do is, and I think the reason that it's pure, is the closer you get to that, the more that you enable that, the purer you are, absolute. My father used to say when I was a kid, and he who makes the goal makes the rules. And the advertiser is the one that's making the rule. And we try to get as close to what it is that they want as possible.
All right, on lead gen, you've got shades of gray there, whether it's an A+ lead or a B- lead, whereas a sale, if the credit card's good, it's a sale.
That's exactly right. And when you are relying on an aggregate force of publishers to generate traffic for you, what ends up happening, you can screen the heck out of them, and we work very hard to do that. But publisher A may be better than publisher B at generating a certain type of traffic, which means ultimately it's going to back out higher. Yet they're getting paid the same CPA. So there's some inefficiencies in that model that cost per sale wipes out.
So, you know, when we think about pay for performance or cost per action, it's really all about shifting the risk off the advertiser's shoulders. You know, you look at CPM, advertisers are assuming a lot of risk that they're going to generate revenue from that, and they can certainly back it out. Same with the cost per click. What are you doing to help maybe convince your advertisers to share more risk with publishers so that maybe the advertisers sticking their neck out a little bit farther, maybe the results will be greater? Anybody want to comment? Start?
Yeah, I'll jump in there. I'm not sure there's a lot you can do to share that risk. I think what you've got to persuade, what we try to persuade our merchants to do is to make that risk worth their while by sharing a higher commission rate, or which a lot of them do. And also, we've come out with a recurring billing capability, which allows our affiliates to make a commission not only on the initial sale, but all the recurring sales that occur after that, whether it's, you know, monthly, quarterly, annually, or whatever it might be.
So they get to the customer for a lifetime, or as long as the advertiser says that.
That's right. That's right.
Any other?
And we're doing a lot more of that than we ever did for what we call the CPO stuff, the cost per order, cost per sale stuff. And the value there is you're really aligning the advertiser with the publisher's interest for the highest profit possible. And, you know, I think a year and a half ago, whether you call it a publisher or affiliate, the kind of folks that we all work with in one capacity or another, that was a very tough sell. They were very different worlds. You know, the folks who would be an affiliate network, CJ type affiliate versus CPA network affiliate. And I think that's evolving and changing. And a lot of folks are starting to look at, well, gee, you know, if I really can drive quality traffic, I can make a lot more money in the long run if it's based on the lifetime value of that customer over time. So that kind of revenue share approach is pretty attractive to some.
I would also, in looking at that, I think that the network and all they're very reputable and very good networks. I think the network shelters the publisher from some risk by ensuring the publisher gets paid. Anybody who's been an affiliate knows that's a very big deal, so that's a good thing. Yeah.
I agree. We are, as companies, we definitely take on a lot of risk ourselves on behalf of the advertiser and the publisher. And that's where technology falls into place. How can we better understand the value of an affiliate and the leads that they're driving or the sales they're driving and pay them based on the value of that lead. Not every lead's the same, not every impression's the same, and our goal is to figure out how to work with affiliates and publishers to mitigate their risk as well as mitigate the risk of advertisers. And that's something that technology is going to drive and innovation is going to drive.
So how do you get the attention of affiliates or probably more importantly publishers that are maybe a little more reluctant to have all the risk put on their shoulders, that they'd rather take a CPM deal? What can you do? Can you create a hybrid offering? What can you do to entice these?
And there are hybrid offers where it's a small CPM on the front end with a value on the back end when action takes place. So there's CPM is the purest, but then you go down the scale, and there's lots of different ways you can skin a cat in this case and understand what works. Where's the balance? It's a matter of balance for the advertiser and us. We're all here to make money, obviously, and then obviously for the publisher. So it's how do we create the right program? It's not set in stone. So it goes back to innovation and technology. What works across the board? Not every publisher is the same, not every affiliate is the same, and not every advertiser is the same. So it's a matter of being flexible and understanding, what levers you need to pull so everyone's happy.
So one of the things I think that's great about this industry in the performance-based space is that you get a lot of stuff that nowadays is more mainstream, that kind of happens way upstream in the affiliate marketing industry, and then becomes more, I guess, widely adopted. And what I wanted to try to pick your brains on is where do you see some of the opportunities for innovation? Things that are happening maybe today that everybody wishes we're doing better, but probably will be down the road. And so I've got a little list of certain segments of publisher tactics, I guess, and just kind of get your feedback on that. I think, does everybody feel that search engine marketing is still probably one of the strongest drivers for CPA and affiliate? The arbitrage model, is that, people see that? Bob, are you seeing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's still probably the dominant way that our affiliates are driving traffic. It obviously is more expensive and probably has more risk to it than some of the other ones. You can become an effective blogger, or if you can crack the code on social media, that can pay off a lot better if you can figure that out, how to do it.
I think we certainly, about half of our business is search, and we've actually brought under the umbrella by and large of the search agencies we've got. And we see that as an area where it's become more and more challenging. Margins are getting more and more pressure, so what we're trying to do is work with our SEM publishers or affiliates underneath that search umbrella to try to add some value above and beyond just kind of letting them out on their own and try to come up with something. And then certainly we're pushing for a lot of very creative minds in the affiliate space to start thinking about the other opportunities that are there. As Bob said, social media is a great opportunity right now. A lot of interesting innovation taking place there that I think is paying off nice dividends for the folks who are getting it and getting it right. Still better margins there than what you're starting to see in the SEM sector.
Talking about cracking the code, I mean, back in the day, that's what affiliates did, was search. They cracked the code and took off with it. Now we're looking at what else. I mean, the thing I always see about the search arbitrage, it seems a little fragile from a business model because you basically hold to the search engines, policies, and the market conditions. You're buying low and selling high. And I've seen some of these people that were focused solely on that, diversifying, trying to get into maybe owning some content, whether that's a blog or price comparison, or whatever the content is. What about blogging? Is that working for you guys? Are you seeing blogs more and more being able to get enough traffic to actually drive results?
In an aggregate sense, any of these social opportunities, blogging, searches, drive results on an individual basis. It takes a lot of bloggers to make up make up a real viable product.
I think we're at a very interesting point, and we'll look back in a number of years at this particular point, because I agree with you, and we see a lot of our business from email marketing and from search engine marketing, and what you have is you have a series of very clever affiliates who are doing the right thing. They're optimizing on Google, and they're figuring out how to work things, but really what they're doing is they're sort of white-hatting, being very clever about how they're doing so, and they're figuring out how to move traffic in their direction. And Google's entire point in life is to be as relevant as it can possibly be, not to be optimized by other people who have incentive for doing so. So our concern about that overall has sort of led us to go into this blogging space in the Web 2.0 community. We've been slacked by it, and we've also been very happy with some of our results in it, because it's a very honest medium. Sometimes it's not a very honest medium. You see a lot of that. There was a wonderful thing I was watching the other night on Gary Vaynerchuk had a video out. It's actually the first time I've watched him, and he mentioned the 2 C's, which are content and community. And I think that the paradigm shift that I was referencing earlier is this big change between sort of figuring out how to move that traffic and figuring out how to have that traffic come towards you. As Google, the super engine, the super highway of the internet, gets better and better and better at what it does, it's going to reward community and content. So we're really trying to dig into that and learn more about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody's talking about when they say Web 2.0. It's kind of like, portals aren't traffic anymore, it's the community and content. And we're definitely seeing a lot more of that. And just, when you think of social media though, I almost think of, when you think of a Facebook and a MySpace, I think of more of a portal again. How do you leverage the social media space to be able to get people to interact with an ad or a widget when that's not what they're there to do? What have you seen working, or where do you see that going?
Yeah, from our perspective, it's the way we kind of divide these organizations, that all falls under our display umbrella, and that actually lends itself a little bit better to branding and brand building. There are things that some folks are doing, and I think they're doing it very interestingly, where they're achieving engagement. And then as a part of achieving engagement, so that the ad itself engages you, the application on Facebook engages you, and then in the course of being engaged can upset you with a product or service offering. But this is to your point about SEM. SEM is really about direct response, and CPA is direct response. So you have the inferred intent of the consumer when they type in a search term, whether it's a simple search term or a complex search term, and it's very, very difficult to replicate that level of intent on the display side of the equation. Everyone's talking about being able to use some form of optimization targeting capability of achieving a like type of targeting for a consumer on the display site. And we are too, but at the end of the day, I don't think we'll ever be the same. I think search is really about the direct response. It is the direct response medium. And I think some of these other things are really more about display, and you've got to think of them that way, even if it's a Facebook application. If you think of it from that perspective, we find that we're able to sell it a lot more effectively to advertisers looking for a brand component in addition to that direct response component.
Yeah, I think that's what's frustrating earlier, because they see all this traffic and they wish they could leverage it, especially affiliates that would like to see, a CPA response, and you're not getting it. Even with these branding and engagement display ads, are they short-lived? It seems like a lot of people talk about these things that they kind of become meme fads in these social networks that they just burn out like that. Just curious, are you constantly having to reinvent this effort in social networks?
In a word, yes. And it's not the same as search. There are folks who develop a search capability and they can use it and repurpose it, come up with new search terms for different campaigns, sometimes in different verticals. And the same fundamental approach they take to one vertical works very well with another. I think that we're still at the stage where a lot of the social media as a direct response vehicle or a CPA vehicle remains pretty experimental. So you'll get these kind of I don't want to say flash in the pan because it's a little bit more robust than that, but campaigns that will be effective for 60 days. Whereas we have search marketers who will be effective for 6 months before they really change the campaign. So it's a little bit more, but that doesn't mean that people won't kind of crack the code, as we've talked about, as Bob put it, where they come with something a little bit more sustainable in that category. It's just not there yet. We haven't seen that yet, from our perspective.
Yeah, I think that, as an industry, we've all been kind of in your face as far as advertising, whether it's, search or review sites or whatever it is, been in your face. I think social media, it appears to me that we have to be much more subtle. And some of the things we've done, some of the creative things that we've done with search to make search effective, we got to apply that same type of creativity to social media to figure out how to be a little more subtle and not be so in your face and get it done that way.
So what about video? Alex, are you guys doing anything with video now?
Well, we certainly are doing things in video, I guess we say the display side, the rich media side, and we're also in the process of, Fiat in the UK launched their first video merchant. So we are actually starting to dive into video on the affiliate side as well. And it goes back to innovation and really continuing to develop the tools that are, the search is the push versus pull model. So, we're doing the push model with something where video will fall in place. And then, going back to social media, I believe that it's really about understanding the passion of the consumers in this case, and understanding what's going to make them decide to interact with a brand or a product. And that's where innovation continues to drive. So video is part of that, of building that passion for consumers to be able to post something on the blog or on their social page, and that's something that we'll continue to dive into.
So everybody keep banging away at social media?
Well, it's not going away. I don't see it like that. Everyone probably here has their own social page. I'll imagine 95% of people, and it works. Doesn't mean that content is still very valuable. I don't want to eliminate the fact that content will always be king. But consumers like to have their own world, and that's what social media has provided for them. They have their own homepage, their own starting point when it comes to the internet, as well as they're going out there still surfing, hundreds of websites a day.
I think one of the fits that exists between Web 2.0 and this social networking and affiliate marketing, we have seen, and I know you guys have also seen, a number of affiliates say to us, I was using AdSense and I was making X amount of dollars and I was very happy doing it. And then when I went into your site and I started to pull ads that were affiliate ads that were more relevant or were relevant to my content, putting them on there, I doubled how much money I made. We hear the story over and over and over again. So we think that we're still in an age where an affiliate can be the machine, in essence, that they know their sites, they know their users better than some algorithm from the sky out in Mountain View does. So what we're really wanting to do is to sort of push that and make our affiliate managers much more understanding of the various sites that our affiliates have and how to match that content up together. We still think that people are better at it than machines, and there's a great opportunity for everybody that owns their sites to go grab affiliate ads that are better picked than the algorithm.
I mean, that's a great point, because to me, what affiliate marketing really is about a business model where you're not just trying to do it all internally. It's not all internal media buying. You're working with partners. You have to do some of it internally. You need to know what somebody's fundamental skill sets are, I think, and we think. But you really leverage the talents of these folks who really do kind of, rage at and then beat the machine over and over and over again. And I think that the level of innovation we get out of that population, hands down, is better than what we could come up with. Time and time again, whether it's on the social media side, we ran an experimental application that was frankly a complete debacle. We thought it was our best minds. It was very creative. It was a complete failure. It didn't work at all. But we had publishers and affiliates coming up with great ideas on doing some really nifty things. Same thing on the search side. We do our own search keyword buying on behalf of agencies where we get the direct domain link. So we get a better theoretical quality score than they do. And we have affiliates who beat us, legitimately at kind of, who have the Google algorithm at least moment by moment figured out so that they'll beat our campaigns on that side too. So it's all about empowering these folks. That, for those of you in the audience or affiliates, you guys are the ones who come up with the right answers here.
It's definitely a lot of hard work. I mean, putting on display ads and just taking the easy route, especially once you get good traffic. It's easy to just take the easy money, but the hard work pays off from really matching up the right offer to the right listener. And a lot of these affiliates have really figured out how to develop the right content and So mobile's been talked about a lot, and it seems tough in the U.S. I mean, you go to Asia, you go to Europe, mobile, even just SMS is just far more prevalent, and I don't see it happening on mobile. I wonder, are you guys trying to get into that?
And we're in the mobile business. It's still a nascent industry here in the U.S. Absolutely will come around, just like the rest of the technologies that continue. Video is still somewhat nascent in the U.S. and we're trying to learn and understand how to make it work across the board. But I do think maybe mobile's not here at the moment. It certainly is on some of the branding side of the ball game for larger advertisers. But in a period of time, it goes back to the affiliates. They're innovative. They continually build things to try to make the most out of every page view or every consumer. And I think it's going to take that same innovation in the website that will take place on the mobile side one day to allow affiliates to take advantage of that medium.
I'm trying to figure out the mobile space, like how would it work? Like suddenly,
Click the bot, click the call, type of
right,
advertising.
I see that, but I also see almost like Sans with email, like you can build a list. People opt in to receive certain messages to the phone from an advertiser or a brand or maybe even a network because they know it'll be relevant. Maybe they select something and then if they get it pushed to them when it seems appropriate or based on their request. Is that where you see kind of working SMS more like an email list, or do you see it more, how are you getting the eyeballs, so to speak?
People are using their phones to look for information, just like they're using their computers. So, depending on where they're going, what pages, and the type of content they're searching, there's different opportunities. It could be, a good example would be Ticketmaster. It would be a great merchant for mobile, because that's an urgency. I want to buy a ticket, I want to do it now. I can literally go to my phone, search, and then click, and maybe buy or call and purchase a ticket. So it's a growing industry. I mean, the iPhones of the world and how things are developing technology. We're a ways away, but certainly, I know, for example, I surf on my BlackBerry constantly, and there's lots of clicking taking place, and there's a high click-through rate when it comes to consumers on mobile phones. It's a very high click-through rate that we're finding in the industry. So it's just a matter of innovation and catching up to where consumers are doing their surfing and how they're utilizing the technology.
Is there a difference when I'm surfing on my iPhone? I feel like I'm surfing web ads. There's not really a mobile component there unless they may, recognize that I'm on my mobile device and present more of a mobile-friendly.
Well, the iPhones it's more of an HTML. It's really you're actually viewing the website, where on the BlackBerries it's a WAP site in most cases. So different technologies. I think eventually everything went being just the HTML. It's exactly what's going to be on a website. So there's not a lot of opportunity at the moment for affiliate publishers, because it's mainly the larger branded publishers that are getting the traffic. But as technologies continue to grow, and eventually everything is HTML based instead of WAP based, and I think that's where things will catch on. Basically, you can go to any website at that point.
So what about pay per call? Just straight up from the web, driving leads through a phone number. Are you guys working in that space at all?
Some of our advertisers are. It's not a huge area for us.
We have a lead generation department that is actually doing that right now. To our publishers, it's still a CPA application. It's a CPA deal. So basically, the publishers are going to get paid X per lead that they generate, not on the call. They're going to have somebody fill out a form. But after that form is filled out, there's a phone number that we provide to consumers. When consumers call that phone number, that's actually how we're getting paid. So right now, it's not really on a pay-per-call basis. We don't have transparent pay-per-call billing models from the publisher all the way to the advertiser. But we know there's a massive market there, so we're sort of arbitraging the difference.
And there are companies that we're working with as well that provide unique 800 numbers opportunities for stuff like the call.
All right, sure.
I can't remember something off the top of my head. So we are working with someone in the search world mainly.
It's mainly, I think they're all mainly duration based. So it's a qualified call, call lasts more than 20 seconds. They've been able to qualify.
There's definitely something there. We're experimenting with it now too. It's just at the experimental stage, but we sort of see it as, just like you were saying, it's a chance to better vet the consumer and, it's a potential sale. To go back to your point about, the fact is at the end of the day, a lead doesn't mean a whole lot. It's all about whether you can actually bring someone to the table who's going to purchase or has, highlight them when purchasing. And, to talk to them on the phone is a great way of getting that person.
So when we talk about the quality of leads, what do you guys have in place to ensure that your advertisers are getting quality leads, to ensure that you're getting publishers that are complying to whatever policies are in place? What are you doing to I guess, keep people working?
Well, we're certainly scrubbing leads prior to ever going to advertiser, but also,
You're capturing leads on behalf of advertisers.
Yes.
Just setting the tracking the leads.
in some cases, we're capturing on behalf of the advertiser. In other cases, we are sending it to the advertiser with a unique identifier that allows us to refer back to where that lead originated from. And we get feedback from the advertiser, which will allow us to say what the value and quality of those leads are. And it goes back to the ability to pay out different pricing for different leads. Not every lead's the same. Some are worth more than others. So we want to make sure that we take care of the publisher, and the publisher is valued for the leads we're providing, but it might not be the same payment per lead. It goes back to the information that we get back from the advertiser, which allows us to understand the levels of payments for
You're kind of creating like a grade level of the lead.
Exactly.
The highest grade, you pay the publisher more.
Exactly
The
right.
publisher kind of knows that going in. These leads can vary from $2 to $10 depending on the quality.
Yes.
We've been commenting about how clever people are when they're incented to getting ads up in different places and being very effective at monetizing whatever it is they need to monetize. When you're an affiliate marketing network, that same intelligence is directed at you and making sure that when people are trying to get in the door and they're trying to do whatever it is that they want to do so they can make money and get their check. And oftentimes the motives are not very good at all. So we found ourselves very quickly in the game realizing that the best possible way is from the most initial contact with the affiliate. We have a process. We've hired several attorneys to run a compliance department, and we're learning more and more and more about that every day. So from the most initial contact through the interviews that we do, we often put different lead sources kind of on roll, or we watch them. We're looking at click-through rates, and we're really trying to find any indication whatsoever there's a problem. And finally, transparency with our advertisers is enormous. They're our partners. So we're working with all the advertisers such that if there's any indication of a problem, we will proactively call them. We wait for their calls, and we're just working together to see where the problems are. Having said all of that, a lot of this has been very, very effective. It's kind of surprising, given the number of people that try to apply, how many don't get in, but it's an evolving process.
Yeah, I think for us, if you took both of these gentlemen's comments and kind of merged them together, you get about our philosophy on it. I think anyone who operates in the space really has to have that philosophy. There's two components to quality, right? There's the quality that the advertiser knows they care about, which is the likelihood of a consumer to convert to a sale or a sale. And then there's the quality which they may not know about, although increasingly they're learning about, which is that if I, as an advertiser, rely on a network that doesn't police how it gets its traffic, they're going to end up in a lawsuit or a regulatory action. And that we all know that's happened, with greater frequency in the industry, and rightly so. If you sit where we sit, there is a high standard, I think, to ensure that the traffic that's being generated is appropriate and strong and right for the advertiser, and is also with the best keeping of the various regulatory regimes that govern our space, and there's a lot. So you really have to focus on both, and the transparency is a huge part of it, and make the advertiser a partner in looking at all this stuff.
Well, one of the I guess criticisms of CPA networks is that typically you kind of a blind network. I give you my offer, and I'm not aware necessarily of all the sites that are promoting. I trust you guys are policing your network, and I probably get some feedback on the quality of leads, but that's another side of transparency. How do you guys deal with that? I mean, because obviously that's a big concern. Most of the networks, I'm sure you, Bob, everyone knows who their affiliates are.
Well, yes and no. We don't push that information out there. But clearly our best merchants, they know a lot of their affiliates. You know, I think in our case, we have the advantage because we're actually the merchant of record for the transaction. So we have a customer service department. So we're listening to the consumer and we're getting that input. We also listen to the merchants and what they're telling us about what the affiliates are doing, and then we take action accordingly. And you know, we're like these guys. We take it very seriously. If we find abuse out there, we jump on it pretty quickly.
So getting back to the transparency, how are you guys feeling? How do you deal with that with your advertisers?
In our case, we'll give full transparency to any advertiser that asks. The challenge, I think, for a lot of the CPA networks a couple of years ago, the reason they were blind networks was the fear. A lot of the advertisers were not the Procter & Gamble of the world, right? They were companies you hadn't heard of that were created thanks to the internet and that ran continuity type of programs. And they'd happily cut you out if you were an intermediary because they could get, you know, they obviously save some margin in the process. And if your only value proposition was to be a broker, then you had to be really concerned about that because you could easily be cut out and wasn't that big a deal. I think those networks, I don't even know if any of them exist anymore. If you're still in business, you better be adding some value to the process. And if you're adding some value to the process and your advertiser is Procter & Gamble, you know, specifically, for example, or any top 100 large company, you really don't have to worry about those guys cutting you out to go directly to work with a guy who works in his basement who's a brilliant SEM innovator. That just doesn't, it's not a legitimate concern. And there are contracts which cover that. So as the business has grown up and as the advertisers have become more and more serious and more significant to come in the door, you, A, worry less about disintermediation for these folks. B, you hopefully, by this stage of the game, have developed some value add that you provide, which means that there's a reason for you to be a part of the chain. You're not just an incidental broker of ads.
We stand by the quality of our networks. And on one hand, it's very transparent on the buy-ad side for merchants, is what it is. And for our display side, the CPA, CPC side, we do provide some transparency. Not where the actions are taking place, but the ability to understand, where they won't be running ads. But typically, when we are running CPA for advertisers on the display side, it's about volume, and they have to channel a lot of advertising to trust the fact that we are providing very stringent rules when it comes to publishers being part of our network. And so on the affiliate side, there's lots of transparency because it's not not such a high volume, but some of the mega affiliates and the larger affiliates is. But if they want to take advantage of a display network where we're pushing ads out through an optimization technology, they need to trust us as a reputable company that our quality of the network is very strong, and let us go out and manage that network of publishers for them to get them high volumes of leads in this case. That's really what that allows us to do.
How do you attract top quality publishers? Are you out there looking for these sites and calling them up, or do you just
Guarantee payment to them, for on the display side. And that's what goes back to that idea that we're taking more risk. And that's why advertisers specifically who are working with us on a CPA basis in our display network need to trust that our network is top quality, which it is. And also need to understand that we're taking on the risk because we're going out and buying that media, and then we're managing the media with our own technologies to understand when their ad should be shown and trying to part of that lead. So it really comes down to knowing that we're spending dollars to advertise, and I'm spending dollars on their behalf, but we're going to manage the inventory, and they need to be comfortable with that our quality of the network is strong.
I think efficiency is a very big part of this too. A publisher wants to go to an affiliate network and they want to work with us because they can go to one place, they can get one check, they get the safety of being assured that their check is going to come in. They have a very broad selection of different types of deals and different types of categories. Our affiliate managers, we do internal testing, and our affiliate managers are aware of what that testing is. One of the big issues I think in affiliate marketing, Google has risen to where it's risen because of relevancy. They're very good at matching up the right ad with the right person at the right time, 3 R's. And affiliate marketing sort of relies on thousands of publishers to sort of pick their own ads and hopefully make that combination work. And when we look into our network, people do a great job at it, but I don't think they do as good a job as a database inevitably is going to be able to do. So one of the things that we try to do is we do a lot of testing, we pass that information on, and ultimately we think the future of this business is to use databases to really get to know the publisher, what they're doing, what works for them, the various ad content out there, and making that match happen for them.
Yeah.
But the more efficiency we provide, the happier our publishers are.
Yeah, I think in our case, we love to guarantee payments. We're not backed by Time Warner, so that's a limitation we've got. But all due respect.
Well, there's two sides of it. On the affiliate side, it goes back to the ability to create tools where they can grab ads that work and the relevance that you mentioned, and we provide that on the affiliate side.
You have to be a full service shop. The affiliate can never be in a position where they say, gee, I would like to use Azul or Epic for X, but that's not going to work. I can go and get it from someone else. Whatever the tool is, metrics, the ability to download an ad tab, which is going to self-rotate the ads as opposed to self-merchandising your own site. All of that stuff, it's got to be there. And then the other thing we try to focus on is bringing in exclusive offers. The more exclusive campaigns you can run, people can get them from you, and they tend to have higher margins. If you can do that, that's great. If a campaign becomes a run-of-network campaign, as in run of all the networks that are out there, it becomes a race to the bottom on the margin side.
So, there's a lot of CPA networks out there, and everybody's trying to differentiate themselves. There's a lot of competition to get an affiliate's, websites, right? How are you able to differentiate yourself, compete, and make a publisher say, no, I don't want to work with that, or no, I want to work with ad.com versus, I'll just figure it out myself. It's going to be whatever I'm already using.
I think exclusivity of some of the merchants is key. Not everyone has the same advertisers. I believe that the tools that we provide and the customer service is absolutely key, and making sure that affiliates know that they can pay on time. And it goes the same on the advertiser side, making sure that that everyone's compliant to the rules and regulations that are out there. But I do think that it really is about great offers and exclusivity, strong payments, and technology, and what you're giving that affiliate to better monetize their traffic.
Yeah, I think in our case, I think the fact that all of our products are niche products. You're most likely not going to find them in a lot of different places. We may be the only place you can find them. And because we have this wide variety of niche products, affiliates, I think, are attracted to us because whatever they might be interested in, they can probably find a product on ClickBank that they can sell and advertise. I think too the fact that we have our reputation of being reliable in terms of payments. We pay high commissions because all the product is digital content. Commissions are very high. I think that attracts a lot of people to us. And we've tried to make it easy. We try to be affiliate friendly and make it easy for everybody to sign up and get going. So it's a great place to start. It's a great place to be when you're starting out.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, one of the things you've heard all of us talk about is payment on time. And I think something that it's not always clear, I think, from the affiliate side of the fence is that that's kind of a big deal from where we sit, because it means that we've got to manage a float between when we get paid by our advertisers and when we actually have to pay it out. A lot of affiliates get paid bi-weekly, sometimes even weekly, and you have to remain competitive, especially if the affiliate's actually doing some form of media buying where they need the cash. And so, we have to be objective on getting those payments out there. Not everyone can do it. It's harder than it sounds because you're collecting 60 days, sometimes 75 days from the advertiser. So there's a big flow in between that you have to figure out how to manage. And a lot of the core competencies of these companies that sit where we sit is managing that flow. It's a crucial task.
You talk about guaranteeing the publisher payment. Obviously, you're getting it out before you get the advertiser money. I mean, is that coming back to buy in? What do? You just eat it, or you work with the publisher to get some of it back?
I mean, probably everyone has their own focus. We don't, when we pay out a publisher, assuming it's a valid lead, unless there's fraud or something like that involved. It's a valid lead if the company goes bankrupt, for example. We had that happen twice last year. There's not much you can do except grin and bear it, and hope that you have enough financial resources that you can get past that. And then, obviously, as you work with more and more reputable advertisers, which is a trend that's happening across the industry, that's less of a risk as you go forward.
It's all risk management. We have a risk management department that's looking at every advertiser that we work with. We're extensively looking at creditworthiness of the advertisers that we work with. Additionally, it all comes back to that initial publisher act. The less fraud we have, obviously the fewer problems our advertisers have, the fewer problems there are in general. And for lack of a better word, I hate to say it this way, but we begin to develop a feel after a little while from the way somebody talks to you on the phone, whether you're going to get paid or not. So we're very careful and we're kind of attuned to that as well.
So all your advertisers, are any of them paying up front, or most of them are getting net terms?
We have a variety of both. Majority is net terms, but we work with both.
We have almost no one who's pay up front, they're almost always net terms. Occasionally, if we have someone who's brand new, especially if it's a new area, a new industry sector, we might ask for that. Whether we get it, that's a separate story, but that may be part of doing a new deal with a new company.
So ClickBank collects all the money, so you got it all in your pocket.
It's not my problem.
How often are you guys paying on affiliates? Is it monthly, or do you pay more frequently?
We've been paying twice a month, and we're looking very hard at going to weekly pay.
We're getting near the end. I thought we opened it up for some questions. If anybody has anything they want to know. One thing I wanted, just if anybody in here, an affiliate or publisher, I'm just curious, anybody here doing any pay-per-call offers that they've ever pushed any? None? No questions?
Is anyone doing social media as opposed to like SEM? If you're not, you should be. Talk to us, we'll give you some ideas.
I have a question. On the pay-per-lead, we have done well sometimes with certain pay-per-lead offers, but one of the things we found at times is that we will be promoting an offer, promoting a page where we're getting information to sell the lead, and suddenly the company that is paying the network decides they've had enough leads for the month, so they're not going to take any more. But we never get notified. Is there some kind of function, something in place that you folks have on your network that prevents that from happening?
Are you asking me?
Anybody?
On our end, we know how many leads, we estimate how many leads that we need, and we offer that offer to our affiliates and have, our analysts actually say, okay, there's enough out there right now, and then you wouldn't be able to grab that lead anymore. And when the leads start getting closer to fulfilling the advertiser's needs, we would call that affiliate and say, it's time for you to take that offer down. So it's really just managing your pipeline very well.
Inside MarketLeverage, the vast majority of leads, one of the benefits of being a CPA network is that the advertiser is only paying when they get what they're looking for, and most people want as much of that as they can possibly take. So in MarketLeverage, the vast majority of our deals, you're not going to run into a lead cap. In the scenario that there is a lead cap, culturally within our company, we're very aware of what those particular ads are, and we know who's running them and who's working them. We have a sales meeting every morning, and we look at where people are at with those things. So we would be in communication with you, so you wouldn't abruptly get dropped off.
For us, when we have the lead cap situation, it's up to us to manage that effectively, and if we fail to do that, that's in effect a bank error in your favor. We will pay out if we receive a valid lead, whether we're able to transmit that ultimately to the advertiser or not. So we just try to manage it as effectively as we can.
Other questions?
To the technology piece, all you guys mentioned technology, and I was just curious from the panel's view how important technology is running operations with the company, and what you feel about using direct track and that sort of thing for the network piece.
I think that technology is everything. I'm not familiar with direct track on that end, but
Or any kind of third-party system that, will
So
track.
basically, you've got a proprietary track,
yes.
direct.com, and by that proprietary, same with ClickBank.
Yeah, ours is, it's our own.
Yeah, it's the same thing with us. We were, I have respect for Direct Track. I think they're okay. I think the fact is we evolved it organically from years ago before they even existed. If they had existed, if I were starting this company today, I might use them. But we do it all organically. And I don't think tracking technology is kind of a commodity. Yeah, I'm not saying we're not proud of what we've developed, but at the end of the day, that doesn't confer any advantage. It's the other stuff like around optimization and targeting that becomes a differentiator that matters. Not your tracking technology. That's kind of a commodity.
MarketLeverage does use Direct Track. We have a long-standing relationship with them, and we've been much more satisfied since they were taken over by Digital River a number of years ago. Having said that, at the same time, and I do agree that the tracking technology is very much a commodity, we have boosted significantly the technology group that we have in-house, and we're constantly looking at new ways to enable publishing, and inevitably, we're always looking at the platform versus our ability to enable a publisher to do the best job possible. If we ever reach a point where we don't think that Direct Track is going to enable us to do that, then certainly we're prepared to do what we need to do.
You talk a lot about cost per acquisition and trying to move the risk around where you get a sale, versus cost per acquisition. A lot of websites know the vertical we're in. We can obviously pixel an acquisition, CPA. We know a lead. We can pixel what happens right there. The sale is a 7-day lag time, and it's often not pixeled because it might happen over the phone or some other way. What's the appetite out there for publishers to give some risk shift back to them in return for a higher payout, although there's a little trusting factor, that's what I'm saying.
I think that a lot of the networks do
Yeah, we're
pixel.
going to look back on this. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of networks use a pixel on the shopping cart. You guys are not using ClickBank, but you're reporting it real time, right?
That's right. Yeah, when ours, they get their analytics right away. It's more result.
I think some advertisers, and maybe some of the larger brands, that maybe don't want to pay the commission until the product ships, and that may take a day, an hour, it doesn't matter. And that's when they want to notify the network. So that's where some of the places I've seen some lag there. Sometimes instead of using a pixel for batching, so they're only batching once a day.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying we're in the insurance business, so somebody might be a lead today, but they may not
Oh, I
buy
see.
that life or health or whatever for 7 days. They're going to think about why. So there's an automatic way to wait for the sale. The second is often not pixel because it's phone sale.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a manual process.
Yeah, we're looking actually in insurance specifically with one of the aggregators that we work with. We're looking at, it's always been bounty to bounty, pure CPA on a lead basis. But we're now actually looking at this kind of program. I think you've heard a lot of us talk about a hybrid type program, depending on what type of affiliate we're working with, a publisher. But at the end of the day, offering a higher payout in exchange for willingness to accept a lag and to align yourself. We think that it's a way of driving higher quality there. The publishers that will be interested will be the ones who trust the quality, and they're the ones we will work with.
Any other questions?